Welcome back. Welcome back, IBA Success Magazine. Welcome back to the community. Everybody from Orlando to Florida that is watching and tuning in, we welcome you back to another episode of the Candid Tailgate Experience, sponsored by Southern Style Barbecue and Jen Yarn Agency. Southern Style Barbecue is located at 4890 Edgewater Drive in Orlando, Florida. Y'all make sure y'all check them out. So I am so excited again. This is going to be a great day. We have the beautiful Miss Cynthia Harris here. Now I just got a little background information about you, so you correct me if any of this is wrong. But what I have is that you have a documented background, which includes serving as president of the Greater Malibu Groves Neighborhood Association, chair of Valencia's College Black Advisory Committee, former. Executive Director of Economic Opportunity Training Operations and the Carlson Cheney House.
Correct.
You've done that. You've served on the 9th Judicial Circuit Juvenile Justice Circuit Advisory Board.
Correct.
And board service with Hands On Orlando.
Yes.
So I also have that you previously served in Florida now.
Yes, I was the first African American president for the state of Florida.
Okay.
And their first vice president.
Impressive background. You've been involved with the community for years.
Yes.
Before we talk about what you do, tell me what you've already done with serving in these different roles directly related to being able to improve the lives of District 6.
So my service actually began when I was 9 years old. So
Okay.
right up the street where the old Greyhound, there was a nonprofit organization called the Daily Bread. I
Okay.
started serving in the soup kitchen when I was 9 years old. So
Wow.
my service expands 50 years.
Okay.
So I'm telling my age, but I'm not telling my age. So I've been able to secure $7 million for the Greater Malibu Groves Neighborhood Association. And through partnerships like Habitat and Wells Fargo, Universal, they were our partners pre-COVID. And what that entailed was the ability for our seniors, especially because our community is over 60 years old, to obtain new roofs because, you know, with the insurance, that's hard for people who are on a fixed income to obtain roofs, and that is a requirement for insurance to keep your costs down. So they were able to get new roofs. They were able to upgrade their electrical breaker boxes, because when you're talking about a home that's 60 years old and you own it and you have family and you have other upkeeps and maintenance in your home, that's one of the things that you neglect and don't think about.
Right.
Also, they were able to get hot water heaters. Now, if they never had a problem with a hot water heater before, they still had the original one when the house was built. So they were able to do that. We did Lawn Beautification Day, where we did 35 houses in one day. We had over 350 volunteers. They got new sod plants.
Wow.
They were able to, if they had a fence, get minor repairs on their fence. They got touch-up paint jobs on their homes. So we've secured that $7 million, and that's what it went into, is maintaining the sustainability of our neighbors in our community. So that's one of the accomplishments that I've done. I've been, like I said, I've been serving the homeless since I was 9 years old. So every year I have a Cynthia Harris and Friendsgiving. So I feed the community. It's one thing to do food drives, but when you're talking about a population that has no means to cook the food, when do they really get a hot meal? Occasionally they may go to a shelter and they may get one hot meal per day, but this is providing them a Thanksgiving with dignity and amongst friends in the community.
Wow. So you've done a lot in the community. You know, I can't even ask you to give me some examples because you just gave me multiple examples of what you've done in the community.
Yes.
What I want to talk about is in 2022, only 6 votes separated you and Mike Scott for the second spot in the runoff. What did those 6 votes teach you?
that taught me that I needed to be a little bit more engaged and work a little harder to earn the votes of the voters.
Okay.
And I think that I've done that.
Okay.
And I think that this go round, 6 votes won't separate us.
6 votes won't separate you. So did losing that race change you as a candidate, or did it change your drive for community work at all?
No, the work has always been in me, and the work is always still necessary for our community. So it has not stopped me from doing anything that I wouldn't have done anyway.
So what are you doing differently in 2026 for your campaign that you did not do in 2022?
Well, I'm staying engaged. I'm keeping my messaging out there to make sure that people know that I exist.
Okay.
So I think that's the most important thing, that people still know that, hey, Cynthia Harris is still there and not going anywhere.
So if a person does not know you, they've never heard of Cynthia Harris, and they're watching right now, complete the sentence for me. Cynthia Harris is
A game changer, a motivator. I am your public servant. I am your candidate for District 6.
Now, Mike Scott, he has been in the seat for almost 4 years to serve District 6. What do you feel like he's done well?
That's kind of a different question. I can say what he said. I can't say whether I've seen it.
Okay.
So he says that he's there. That he has been there for certain people in the community.
Okay.
I can't take that away from him because I can't prove or not prove that is an incorrect statement.
And you live in the district.
And I live in the district.
So have you seen any work that you're like, wow, I'm proud of?
No, I think in the last 4 years our district has remained stagnant.
Okay.
We've had some changes. We have redistricting now where we'll have 8 commissioners versus 6 commissioners. So that reduced the size of our district and the voting pool, and we lost Orla Vista, we lost Mercy Drive as a result of that.
Okay.
So I think just the shift in the redistricting, that makes a difference. And it may have been that he was there for some people, and it may have been those people who are no longer in our district.
No longer the district. So where do you feel like he really fell short that makes you say, you know what, I'm coming back again to strengthen the district in which I live?
Communication.
Okay.
One of the disheartening things about our district is that when we find out information is when the sheriff is with the eviction notice and the bulldozers on the side of the road, because we're not getting that information. As your next commissioner, I want to be your civic navigator. I want to make sure that you understand the process. I want you to be there when everything is going on at the beginning and not at the end. See, the state has in legislator, you must notify residents from a project 300 to 500 feet. Typically, notification is given out 300 feet. 300 feet is from here to the sidewalk. So people are not given proper notice to know what's going on. When they find out anything, the developers are developing in our community, and they may have 1, maybe 2 public meetings because of the requirements, but we don't get that information firsthand. I want to make sure that residents, when there's a project in our community, they know when I know, not when it's over or too late.
And so you feel that you can deliver better on the communication for the community than what's currently been done?
That's correct.
So you've run for several different races over the years. Some voters may ask, does Cynthia Harris want to serve specifically as District 6 Commissioner, or does she simply just want to hold and seat an elected office? How would you answer that?
So I already have been doing the work since I was 9. So I've been serving the community and the residents. I'm qualified for every job that there is available.
Okay.
So it's not like I just want to hold a seat, because I'm doing the work already. I've always done the work. So it doesn't matter, even if I was to run for clerk of court, I'm qualified to do the job.
Okay.
So my thing is I want to make sure that I serve the people. I want to make sure that the people understand, because we have too long had too many people that look like us that are not for us. And I am the candidate that is for us.
Yes, okay. So in 2024, because a lot of questions has come, is, Cynthia has ran for a lot of seats. And in 2024, you were removed from the ballot. What happened, and what do you want voters to understand about that situation?
So our government is ran by the establishment. I'm not part of the establishment. I was a threat then, I'm a threat now. So when that removal, which was unfortunate, the voters didn't have an opportunity to hear the real story, because there was some deception that was brought up in there. And all of those people have been terminated now because they perjured themselves in court. The facts are just the facts, sometimes media has a way of distorting the facts and to benefit the establishment, but my record speaks for itself.
What did you learn from that experience about elections, about qualifications and accountability? Because I know for me, every time something happens that bumps in the road, it teaches us something. What did you learn from that?
It taught me that, I can continue to fight harder, make a difference in this community, and let the voters know that Cynthia Harris is not going anywhere. Cynthia Harris is still going to fight for you.
So District 6 has neighbors that have heard promises about redevelopment for decades. That's been one of the biggest questions that have come in on the platform. They've said District 6 is going to change and this is going to move and redevelop. What would you do differently so residents actually can and see the investment and the redevelopment that they are talking about?
So right now we're being overdeveloped. Okay. So a lot of the things that development has caused is flooding in Orla Vista. Okay. Malibu Groves, because of overdevelopment, is underwater. Richmond Heights even though Orla Vista was in the spotlight, Richmond Heights was underwater as well at the same time, and no one is talking about that. We don't need more development. What we need is attainable, affordable housing for everybody. What's affordable for you, it may not necessarily be affordable for me. However, what people fail to understand that our government is in the real estate business. Although they say they're not, they are. Orange County roughly owns about 3,000 properties. And City of Orlando, they roughly own about 1,800. And when you're thinking that vacant property is out-of-state investor, slumlord, however you want to label it, it's not. Your investor is right there in your local government. And I believe that we should be able to unleash those properties and make sure that residents can attain them and live sustainable, because we don't need further development. We need people off the streets in housing, because everybody that's homeless is not non-working. There are people that even work for Disney and all of our hospitality industries. You would never know they're homeless because they have uniforms every day. The showers are on the property, so they can shower, they can wear their uniform, but then they have to go home to somebody's couch or to their car or to a hotel, when everyone should be able to live in this city with dignity.
So what is your plan for affordable housing and for workforce housing?
So my plan is, like I said before, is to get to the bottom of how we can get rid of the inventory in Orange County and make sure that working class people can have those houses. Because Orange County has such a high inventory, I believe it was in 2012, 2013, there was so much inventory that they were selling it. But we weren't notified that we could acquire it. Other investors acquired it because they were selling houses for as low as $40,000. Wow. And they were holding the note. And so that's something that, even though Orange County says they're not in the real estate business, we can hold a note on those properties that we've obtained through tax liens and abandonment, and make sure that our residents have somewhere to live, somewhere that they can afford, somewhere where they can get to work every day and have a healthy quality of life. Because if you lack housing and you lack health care, you know, those are the two main factors that messes with your mental psyche, and then it makes it hard for you to go and obtain employment or maintain it.
You know, District 6 has a lot of seniors who are being squeezed by housing, insurance, food, transportation costs. Do you have a plan specifically for the seniors? And if a senior is watching right now and they're worried about the next leadership, what could you tell them if Cynthia Harris is in the seat?
Well, Cynthia Harris will continue to work with Seniors First and other senior resources that the state has, but I'd also make sure that I lobby, because that's one of the jobs of the commissioner, is to lobby, not just on the local level, but to lobby on the federal level. So, yeah, I would definitely continue to lobby with Maxwell Frost, who is our representative on the federal level. I would continue with Bruce Anton and Senator Bracy. Those are the people that are the lawmakers. They are the ones that can help navigate funding into our community.
What would a Cynthia Harris administration do to make sure small and minority businesses get a fair opportunity at county contracts?
I would continue to educate, because a lot of times people may have the desire to have a contract, but they don't know what to do. And that's what even my nonprofit economic opportunity training operations does. I tell people, just because you know how to cook don't mean you need to own a restaurant.
Hello, it's some work behind that.
It is some work, because I was a former restaurant owner. So, and it was a lot of work, and unfortunately it's not there anymore because it's a lot of work.
Yes.
And so people need to understand every single detail: payroll, profit, cost, loss margin, et cetera, et cetera. You know, you go on, and I want to make sure that not only do they obtain the resources, but also understand every little single detail it takes to be a vendor. And not just, okay, I want to be a vendor, but did you know that you have to have a business plan? Do you need to have this type of investment? Who are your suppliers? You need to know who your suppliers are before you even get off into this venture.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that when business owners are coming, that they get the tools necessary so that they can be successful if they want to have a business here. And as well as work with Visit Orlando, so that Visit Orlando, it can advertise for them so that people know that they exist.
A lot of money has been said that organization gets. Do you know specifically what they do with it?
Well, there's some audits going on, and I'm still looking at some of the details to see if what is being said actually match what's wrong with it.
Okay.
I think that along with Visit Orlando and other organizations, they all need to be looked at with a little bit more detail, so that when we are budgeting, when the budget is there, we make sure that that money is given appropriately and it does what it says it's going to do.
You know, running a nonprofit and being a community advocate are very different from managing county government and voting on billion-dollar public decisions. What proves that you're ready for that transition?
Well, it proves it because I run Malibu Grows, and Malibu Grows is a 501c4, and we were able to acquire $7 million worth of services. So I think that track record speaks for itself.
Okay. You know, when talking about money, and let's talk a little bit about your campaign money. your official campaign finance page shows, and correct me if I'm wrong, that your 2026 fundraising and spending reports include over $5,000 in monetary contributions during the June 1 through June 12th reporting period. Who's funding your campaign? And can you promise voters that a campaign contribution will never buy greater access?
Well, because I have the least amount of money as far as fundraising, my fundraising is coming from family and friends.
Okay.
I think it would be a disservice to say, well, my opponents, the incumbent must have money, because something would be deeply wrong if the incumbent is not raising money.
Right.
But also, you also have people who, they look at your opponents look at your campaign report, and if I lied and said that I had $10,000 in my account, knowing that I don't, it's a disservice to the people. So if I raise more money, then my opponent would fudge their financial reports.
Is that possible?
That's absolutely
fudging financial reports?
Absolutely, especially when you have no other source of income.
Okay.
And so when you have no other source of income, and you pretend that you have something that you don't, if you did a real audit, you'll see how my money got there and how it didn't. In 2022, I raised $3,000, and look at the numbers, the end results. So I raised the least amount of money back then too, because it was people power, not bought by other people.
And a lot of people say the person that raises the most money is the person that gets in office. When a person says that to you, what do you feel about that?
Well, you saw the numbers in 2022.
And you was real close.
And I only raised $3,000.
If voters elect you and I interview you 4 years from now, because this is IBA Success Magazine, and some of the same people that's on this wall now, they are circling back around. So 4 years from now, what's 3 things that I should be able to hold you accountable for accomplishing?
Transparency.
Okay.
So definitely you can hold me accountable for transparency.
Okay.
You can hold me accountable for being a civic navigator. So I'm going to make sure that you understand the process from beginning to end.
Okay.
And I'm going to work my hardest. I'm not going to make any promises. We've had too many people that make promises, like you said,
Yes.
and not successful. My thing is, I can't help you if I don't know what's going on. So I can't say that I'm going to make sure that you have housing in your community and that's not your need.
Right.
The best person to tell me what you need is you, because you live in the community. So it's going to fluctuate as far as what's going to get taken care of and what's not, because I'm going to make sure that the needs of the people are taken care of first.
Well, I know since I've been watching you, you are a fighter, and you keep circling right back around to fight again. What are some things that you absolutely will not compromise on for District 6?
For District 6, I will not compromise on continue the overdevelopment.
Okay.
Because we're being priced out of places. And with the deportation, immigration laws that are carried out, you'll find that a lot of the properties are now being vacated.
Okay.
So if I can afford $1,800 a month rent, then I need to work with the property owners and make sure that this is suitable for someone who needs housing, because we should be able to negotiate. In my experience with working with the homeless population, that's what I did. If I got them out of the shelter and put them in housing, I'm monitoring and I'm doing aftercare and making sure that I have a relationship with these owners so that my clients are continuing to maintain sustainable housing. It doesn't stop after they sign the lease. You have to continue to work at it, because everyone is not focused or trained enough to stay on the course, and you want to make sure everybody stays on course.
So as we're wrapping up, Y'all, and you are watching. Listen, this is the second interview of the day of the IBA Success Magazine Tailgate. I forget they over there sometimes because I'm just enjoying this conversation with you. But as we're wrapping up, and you have to just look to the voters and say, listen, you need to vote for me. Why would they need to vote for you? This is your plea to say, it's me that you need.
So the reason why I feel that I am the best candidate is because I have been doing the work. I didn't just come up here by overnight and just decided that I wanted to vote. I'm not in this for a popularity contest. I'm not chasing checks. I am your candidate who is actually doing the work now and can do the work better once I am in the position. So you can go to cynthiaharris.4d6.com and you can do your research, or you can just type in Cynthia Harris and you'll find that I've been there. I've been on the ground. I've been successful at the things that I've done. I've had, like anyone else, I've had some mishaps, and that goes with the territory. I am human. However, Cynthia Harris is your candidate. I am the people's candidate. I will work for you and I will not lie to you. I'm going to be transparent and I'm going to teach you everything that I know so that you can be successful too.
Listen, you all heard it from here, right from Cynthia Harris herself. This is not a third party. She here, y'all, live and on the IBA Success Magazine platform. You all, thank you so very much for tuning in. Remember, this tailgate keeps going. Thank you to our sponsor, Southern Style Barbecue and Genion Agency, for allowing us this platform and opportunity to bring informed information right to you. Y'all have a great day. Hey, remember, keep on. The tailgate continues.